January has only had 10 days thus far. 10 days. We've had shutdowns, cancellations, censorship, drama, everything that could have possibly happened in the span of an entire year has happened in, at the very least, the first 10 days of the month. We're off to an absolutely insane year this year. Welcome back to another weekly Gacha recap, a video series where we recap all of this and more in one easy to digest format. If this is your first time here, don't make it your last. Consider joining our Gacha Hub community over on Twitter. Consider joining our Stix subreddit over on Reddit. Additionally, consider joining our Discord community, which is at over 1,500 members now. Now we have a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. Reverse 1999 is holding a collab with Atomic Heart, and apparently there has been some backlash from the global player base specifically. Common complaints include Reverse 1999's hypocrisy given their recent anti-war patches. Honestly, I don't really know enough about this to have any real opinion on the matter. You're gonna have to do a little bit of digging yourself. Blue Archive's producer stated that the creative industry is facing an AI slop problem linking to consumer distrust. Of course, they're going to react negatively, he stated. I'm actually gonna do a dedicated video on this overall, but essentially to summarize, they're not gonna use AI, they don't believe in using AI, and at the very least, they don't really support the use of AI, or at least based off of the very surface level reading I did of it, that's what I took from it personally, which is actually hilarious because at the very same time, like within the 24-hour period that was posted, Cygames tweeted that they were going to establish an AI-focused studio. We're pleased to announce the establishment of our wholly owned subsidiary, Cygames AI Studio Co. Limited, which will focus on the development and provision of services and tools utilizing AI. This was not received that well. The Musume subreddit's at 4,000 likes, 1,200 comments. They're actively in the market for AI image generators. Their community is not happy. The Twitter thread itself was filled with upset players. This is not amazing. It's awful. I guess I'll go ahead and have a dedicated video on that too, because this entire thing is kind of wild to think about. Since we're on the topic of Musume though, Steam held their Best of 2025 recap featuring the top sellers. Musume actually made it into that category. Additionally, so did Wuthering Waves. That's wild. Two of the best gacha games of their respective categories right now being in the top sellers, the best of 2025 on Steam. Silver Palace has officially confirmed they're going to be holding their monotype beta test. It begins January 13th at 5 a.m. and it runs through January 18th at 2 a.m. I believe this for me is January 12th at some point in the evening. I am sponsored by them. I am going to be streaming this. I am also going to be doing videos on this. So be on the lookout. Join us as we stream this live and we all get to witness ourselves if it is as good or as bad as we were hoping or expecting. Additionally, I also want to point out that based off of the trailer that we saw, they're going very heavily Gooner. Arknights Endfield officially launches on the 22nd and they are holding a pre-registration web event. In anticipation of this, we have a thread over on Reddit. There is a thread over on the official Enfield subreddit where you can exchange links with other people. I also want to point out we are sponsored to stream this on launch day. We're also sponsored to do dedicated videos as well. So as this happens, as this is available to play when it launches, I hope you come on over and join me again on stream. We're going to be doing Silver Palace and Arknights Endfield literally within days of one another, which is crazy. Speaking of Arknights Endfield, Arknights is going to be holding a Bang Dream collab, which is actually kind of surprising. I'm not a big fan of the franchise, mainly just because it doesn't really appeal to me, but damn, okay. Muv-Luv Girls Garden has opened pre-registration on the Google Play Store, on the Apple App Store. If you're interested, it looks like they're actually shooting kind of low. Browndas 2 has upset a lot of people. And when I say a lot of people, I mean every single person on Reddit, every single person on Twitter. I mean, I did a dedicated video on it, what, 2 hours ago? And it's already at 6,000 views. Judging by these views, is going to hit 10,000 views in probably a little over an hour. I did a video of this just earlier today. It's at almost 10,000 views as well. This has happened in two stages. Essentially, the first stage, they confirmed that they were going to be censoring outfits, censoring cutscenes, and players were not happy because they had essentially confirmed that the reason they weren't launching onto Steam was because they wanted to retain their identity and not be forced to censor the game. Shortly after that, they issued an apology, gave away 100 free polls, 16,000 premium gems, and completely doubled down. And they went on to state, we know rebuilding trust will take time, but we will take responsibility. They admit that they've broken players' trust and they think that they can earn it back through essentially bribery. Now, I love the game and I really did enjoy working with the developers as often as I did, but at the same time, like, this is just not good. This is not good at all. And even if you like a game or like a studio, you need to hold them accountable when and if they do something stupid, and that is what we're doing right now. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. Black Beacon has officially shut down after less than 1 year online. Here is their service termination notice. It is a sad day. It is a sad day because this game had a lot of potential. It ultimately didn't meet that potential. It really didn't. It fumbled it. It fumbled it very poorly, and this should serve as an example, a learning experience for upcoming gacha devs. The Korean 3D strategy RPG Genesis War, the play of Genesis, has started global pre-registrations for Android. For those of you that are interested, I've never heard of this before. Apparently, the game looks generic according to photos, but if you're interested, pre-registration's open right now. Fate Grand Order upset some people with their finale. They thought that it was going to end of service, and then now they have new content. They confirmed several months worth of content, and players are going to have a lot to look forward to moving into the future. Taimanin Squad is officially holding an open beta on the 15th of January. This is going to be on Android only, it seems. This, I wish I had time to stream this, but unfortunately I'm not going to. I'm going to be streaming Silver Palace pretty much for the entire like 12th or 13th through 18th period, just so I can push this far through and experience as much of that game as I possibly can. But I mean, if you all want to, you can. Traces of the Wind just released on January 8th, 2026. This is actually a super cute game. I did a dedicated video on this. I think it's sitting like 13,000 views so far. Go check out that video. It has full gameplay. It has my opinions on it. It's a cute looking game, and I hope it releases globally. Koihime Taisen is a gacha game featuring the characters from the Koihime Musume series. It's going to be released in spring 2026. Pre-registrations for the game have reached 100,000 in total. Admittedly, I've never played one of these games before, and I don't know if I will, but at the very least, I am motivated to potentially try it out if it releases globally. Neo Artifacts is another brand new upcoming gacha game, a strategy game specifically, set in a dark fantasy world featuring turn-based combat with grid-based maps, kind of similar to Alchemy Stars. It's a chibi art style. They have a pre-registration open for global, which means it is coming globally, and an open beta is planned for this month in 2026. The characters actually look very cool from what I've seen. I have a dedicated video on this as well, going over my impressions of the trailer footage and everything else that we have access to right now. Lunar Order Global pre-registration is currently open. This is apparently an AI game, so that is probably a pass for the majority of us, but as a content creator, I am going to do a video on it because even if it is AI slop, it's best I bring that to the attention of our players. And just because something has crappy AI art doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily be a crappy AI game. Probably will be. But with AI moving in the direction that it is, I mean, it's best we just keep an eye on things either way. Dynamite Blue is an upcoming gacha game, a pixel art gacha game that actually looked very cool as well. I like the design of the brunette over there. I did a dedicated video going over this. The team themselves, or one of the developers at the very least, reached out and offered to provide me access to a test version of the game when it becomes available. They seem incredibly friendly, very passionate about their game, and I would love to work with them. I'd love to bring more attention to the game because this is done by the original developers of Excel's Heroes, which was a really, really fun game. Neverness to Everness has opened their pre-registration milestone rewards, much like Arknights Endfield did. It looks like they're aiming for 35 million. That's a very big number. I know people online are saying that they're not going to reach this, or they are going to reach this, and like Arknights Endfield, like Zenless Zone Zero, like Wuthering Waves, whenever they shoot for 30 to 40 million pre-registrations, they always meet it. And you know what? Maybe they're artificially inflating numbers, not NTE specifically, but maybe gacha games in general artificially inflate pre-registration numbers. Maybe they don't. Maybe there is just genuinely a lot of people interested in the games. Who knows? Either way, I don't give a fuck. I am really excited for this game. I am sponsored to stream the beta, or the final beta. I'm sponsored to stream the full release, and I'm sponsored to do a dedicated video on it as well. So when this inevitably happens, I would love for you all to come on over and join me, much like Silver Palace, much like Arknights Endfield, as we push through all of this together, leading up to the full and final release. Speaking of the female protagonist is so much hotter than the male protagonist is, and the male protagonist is absolutely being mogged in terms of numbers, likes, views, everything. Looks like nobody likes him, and that's understandable because the female main character looks hot as fuck. And that is everything that happened in the gacha genre over the course of the last week that mattered to me. You're now up to date. You're welcome. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.